And I'm happy that I was able to the ring with so many legendary fighters. You know, to become a great fighter, you had to become great, you had to fight great fighters, you had to fight good fighters. So I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the certain guys that paved the way for me today.
The world of boxing was recently abuzz with excitement as two legends, Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, teamed up for an intense training session ahead of Tyson's highly anticipated fight against Jake Paul. This unexpected collaboration has captured the imagination of fans and pundits alike, eager to see what insights and skills these two icons might share. Following their training session, Mayweather finally broke his silence, offering his first words about the experience. Mayweather, known for his impeccable defensive skills and unbeaten professional record, has always been a student of the game. His decision to train with Tyson, a heavyweight known for his ferocious power and aggressive style, was met with both surprise and intrigue. The training session was not just about honing Tyson's skills for the upcoming bout, but also about merging the distinct boxing philosophies of these two greats. In his first public comments after the session, Mayweather expressed admiration for Tyson's work ethic and enduring passion for the sport. Mayweather also shared some insights into what went down during their training. According to him, the focus was on refining Tyson's already formidable power and blending it with defensive techniques that could give him an edge against a younger opponent like Jake Paul. Despite their contrasting styles, the two boxers found common ground in their approach to the sport. Mayweather emphasized the importance of strategy and mental toughness, qualities that have defined his career, while Tyson brought an intensity and ferocity that only he can deliver. Meanwhile, Francis Ngannou has made his prediction on Mike Tyson's clash with Jake Paul, and he thinks there's no substitute for experience. Paul, age 27, is in the peak of his athletic career, whereas Tyson recently celebrated turning 58. Ngannou, who sharpened his skills under Tyson's guidance before his boxing debut against Tyson Fury last December, is confident that his former mentor still has what it takes to overcome Paul. "I think Tyson will still beat his," he told assembled media in Washington, D.C., including TalkSport. Numerous medical experts have sounded the alarm, cautioning Iron Mike about the serious health risks he could face by stepping back into the ring against an opponent 3 decades younger. Stephen Hughes, a senior lecturer in medicine at Anglia Ruskin University, asserts that Tyson's advanced age and history of alcoholism significantly heighten his vulnerability to subdural hematomas and strokes. In the meantime, Dave Hancock, the globally acclaimed fitness specialist and ex-physio for Chelsea, Leeds United, and the England national team, warned that it could have catastrophic consequences for his health. Ngannou, however, is not as concerned. Asked what sort of condition Tyson is in at his advanced age, Ngannou replied, "He's definitely not as he was when he was young, but when he moves around and shows you something, I'm like, what the hell is this?" So I think that is something that people don't understand about Mike Tyson. His footwork is still there. He can move from your left to your right in the blink of an eye. Paul has faced significant criticism from the boxing community for agreeing to a bout with an opponent who had started his professional career a dozen years before Paul was even born. The former Disney star boasts an impressive 10-1 record in professional boxing, with his sole loss being inflicted by Tommy Fury, the younger sibling of the renowned WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Paul faced intense criticism for bypassing traditional boxing contenders, choosing instead to face former UFC champions like Anderson Silva and Tyrone Woodley in his early matches. In August of 2023, Paul managed to rattle Nate Diaz, one of the rare fighters who has actually defeated the notorious Conor McGregor in the ring. Responding to the critics during an exclusive interview with TalkSport's Gareth A. Davies, Paul said, "I think it's disrespectful to Mike, first and foremost, and then I would say to them, get in the ring with him. If Mike wants to fight, then Mike wants to fight. If he wants to make it a pro fight, then okay, I want to fight Mike Tyson. That's legendary. It's an honor to be in the ring with him. And if he wants the fight to be a pro fight, then okay, let's do it." But opinions are split. Some eagerly anticipate it, others vocally oppose it, and a few remain undecided. Regardless of the differing views, one thing is certain: a showdown is set Friday night, November 15th, as former 2-time heavyweight champion Mike Tyson steps into the ring against YouTuber-turned-professional boxer Jake Paul. When we first caught wind of this unexpected matchup, it was slated for June 20th. However, due to a medical hiccup, shakeup, the fight was pushed back. In May, during a flight from Miami to Los Angeles, Mike Tyson required urgent medical care for an ulcer flare-up. The Boxing Hall of Famer has since fully recuperated and is now gearing up for his next bout. Just last week, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson took the stage at the Fanatics Fest 2024, held at the Jacob Javits Center in New York for a press conference. Former Pittsburgh Steelers player and current sports analyst Ryan Clark took the stage as the host of the press conference. True to form, Mike Tyson was greeted with enthusiastic applause from the city of New York, while Jake Paul, the contentious figure of the event, faced a torrent of disapproval from the audience.
Oh, I'm not scared. Sorry, I'm not scared of shit. No, not at all. Not at all. I was born for this. I was born for this moment. The universe told me this was going to happen. You can ask Mike. I did ayahuasca, called him up and said, we're going to fight on the biggest stage possible. It's destiny. And now here we are years later actually making it happen. I was made for this moment, born to do this, and I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime on November 15th, and the universe will align for all of its glory and good for God.
As Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fielded questions about their upcoming bout, an unmistakable sense of tension hung in the air. This unconventional pairing is quickly turning into a captivating clash, as it's clear that both fighters are grappling with their own brand of apprehension. For Jake Paul, trepidation is palpable for clear-cut reasons. For the first time in his career, he's up against an adversary with elite boxing prowess. On top of that, this opponent possesses the power to end the fight with a single, decisive blow. Jake Paul will face his greatest challenges in the early rounds, where critical questions will come into focus. Will he be able to hold his ground while moving backwards? Is he resilient enough to withstand a punch from someone like Tyson? Most crucially, can he defend against or endure a body blow from the legendary Mike Tyson? Despite the lingering questions that might be causing Jake Paul some anxiety, Mike Tyson faces his own mental hurdles. While Tyson, with a record of 50 wins and 44 knockouts, clearly boasts superior boxing skills, the factor that equalizes the odds is his age. At 58, Mike Tyson is well aware that he's not as nimble as he once was. However, the good news is that raw power often endures the longest. Tyson still seems to possess enough of that explosive force to make an impact on Jake Paul. Mike Tyson might exude confidence as he steps into the ring despite the missing elements he's accustomed to. But is there an undercurrent of apprehension stirring within him driven by the lingering uncertainties?
Well, I'm beautiful, and I've been training for a while, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm just asking when you get into camp.
I'm okay to fight.
But when you get into camp, like when
I'm in camp right now.
Very good, thank you.
I'm in camp right now.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Questions like whether Mike Tyson still has the durability to withstand a right-hand blow from Jake Paul are intriguing. Yet the crux of the matter is whether Tyson can maintain his stamina if a knockout doesn't occur within the first few rounds. If he fails to end the fight early, what's Tyson's backup strategy? The lingering uncertainties surrounding Mike Tyson might be sowing seeds of doubt in the mind of the former two-time heavyweight champ. For those gearing up to watch this fight, these unresolved questions add an extra layer of intrigue to the Tyson versus Paul matchup. The answers will finally come to light on November 15th, making the anticipation all the more electrifying. Predicting the outcome of a fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul isn't straightforward. It's a complex puzzle with many possible scenarios. Tyson would likely dominate in the early rounds, but if the bout stretches beyond the fourth round, Jake Paul could turn the tide and potentially emerge victorious. Amidst the storm of controversy, Paul remains steadfast and thrilled about stepping into the ring with a boxing icon. Instead of being discouraged, he finds motivation in the pessimistic predictions from notable figures like Ngannou and Randy Couture. "I feed off it," Paul said with enthusiasm, eagerly accepting Ngannou's grim forecast for his fourth fight in just 11 months. He added, "It's not going to be an easy fight. I think the first 4 rounds are going to be very difficult for me. And if I can weather the storm of Mike Tyson, the baddest man, hardest puncher on the planet, then I believe I can pull ahead in the later rounds and be able to stop him actually. But Francis is not wrong. I oftentimes get scared of like that one punch, and I have to be alert the whole time." Paul's been on a winning streak, notching up 4 victories in just the past year. Meanwhile, Iron Mike has been largely out of the ring for over 2 decades, with only a 2020 exhibition to his name and occasional sightings in a wheelchair. Considering these factors, Paul appears to have a clear advantage heading into their bout. Tyson, celebrated as one of boxing's greatest, still holds a formidable reputation with his legendary knockout power and substantial size advantage over the problem child. Ngannou is convinced these attributes will be enough for Tyson to overpower the former Disney star. Despite Ngannou Ngannou's cautionary advice, Paul brushed it aside in a tweet, delivering a veiled warning to the Predator. In the same breath, Paul skillfully referenced Ngannou's October opponent, Renan Problema Ferreira. Meanwhile, there is a fierce message from Tyson aimed squarely at Paul. He said, "I'm always careful when that guy comes out. Every time I drink or get ready to fight and Iron Mike returns, I break out in handcuffs. Unfortunately, I have to fight and be that guy. I wish I could stop that guy. That guy haunts me. I wish I could stop that guy. I wish that guy died, but he's here again." In a striking contrast, Tyson made a guest appearance on the Impulsive YouTube podcast, which is led by Logan Paul, Jake Paul's older brother. Throughout the show, Logan candidly expressed his apprehensions about the prospect of Tyson battling his younger sibling. With a tone laced with sincere worry, Logan voiced his deep concerns for Tyson, emphasizing his primary desire for Mike's safety. He urged Tyson to address Jake with the gravity the situation warranted, reflecting his genuine concern for the iconic baddest man on the planet.
I love you, Mike.
Same.
And I'm very nervous for you.
Thank you for caring.
I do care. I care about you. And I care about my brother. And I know the path he's on right now. And it's ruthless, Mike.
I agree. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's so cool to watch. And he's really crushing it. And I just feel like I want you to be okay in there, Mike.
Tyson made it clear how highly he valued Jake, noting that while some might overlook him, he never did. Reflecting on his 58 years of experience, Tyson observed that everyone carries the potential to be dangerous, a realization that has ingrained in him a profound wariness of others. He wrapped up with a down-to-earth perspective on the forthcoming bout. Two contenders would step into the ring, one would walk away triumphant, and eventually, they might face off again before both returned to their separate paths, heading to their respective banks to continue their daily routines. Interview, Tyson revealed that his relative inexperience in boxing is what sets him apart from the previous opponents of Jake Paul. He candidly acknowledged Jake's strength as a formidable contender, emphasizing that this assessment was purely his own perspective. Tyson challenged anyone who doubted his age or abilities to confront him directly. He drew a clear distinction between himself and Jake's previous adversaries, emphasizing that while they were untroubled and resolute, he approached the fight with a mix of anxiety and trepidation. Tyson felt these very emotions were what distinguished him from the others.
Mike.
That's how I look at him.
And he's getting like better and better. It's crazy.
I know this. I know. That's why I got to get him before he gets too good.
You're right.
The former heavyweight champ, once hailed as the planet's most intimidating figure, may be risking it all by stepping back into the ring. But when questioned on Sunday about his decision to take on Jake Paul, he answered without a moment's pause. "Because I can. Who else can do it but me? Who else is he going to fight to make this happen?" Tyson said, motioning toward the crowd at a packed press conference where fans cheered the former heavyweight champion and booed Paul. He added, "We've just got to listen to the facts. We've got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived." Tyson said he felt good and had resumed exercising 2 or 3 weeks earlier. "Hey, listen, I'm just ready," Tyson said. As the unchallenged champion, Tyson ruled the heavyweight boxing world from 1987 to 1990. Despite retiring in 2005, he made headlines worldwide with a surprising return in 2020 for an exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr. His comeback reignited fan excitement to such an extent that many were disheartened on Sunday. An overpacked crowd at his final appearance during the Fanatics Fest in New York forced numerous attendees to be turned away. Paul fought back against the hecklers and the fighter on the other side of the stage. Paul said, "Hey, New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago." Tyson's prime is undeniably behind him, and Paul is well aware that triumphing over a fallen legend won't bring him substantial recognition. Nevertheless, the ex-Disney Channel star, who steadfastly believes he is destined to be a boxing champion, still perceives great value in stepping into the ring with Tyson, despite his diminished prowess. When Tyson was forced to withdraw, he was succeeded by a formidable rival, Mike Perry, the bare-knuckle fighting champion. On July 20th, Perry stepped into the ring with great anticipation. However, in a thrilling bout, he succumbed to defeat in the 6th round. Like many of Paul's previous challengers, Perry's roots lie in mixed martial arts rather than traditional boxing. Undeterred, he now eagerly awaits a rematch, his initial goal of facing Tyson still firmly in mind. Paul said to Tyson, "I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy still hurts?" The highly awaited showdown on Netflix is set to be a bona fide spectacle, featuring 8 electrifying rounds of 2 minutes each, and gloves heavier than standard. However, the genuine spirit of boxing might just be embodied in the event leading up to it. Paul is gearing up to showcase his boxing aspirations, while Tyson is poised to reveal the impressive prowess he once commanded. Although health issues have challenged him, he is unwavering in his belief that they won't hinder his performance. Tyson said, "I had a small adversity, I got sick, but I'm better. I feel good." Carl Froch, meanwhile, thinks Tyson isn't acting sincere in the lead-up to his bout with Jake Paul. Nonetheless, Froch has insisted that the fight between Tyson and Paul isn't meant to be taking place. He said, "Mike Tyson, I think he is just playing his role. In my opinion, Mike Tyson has probably got the script, because when I saw that press conference, there was a half-hearted shove. Jake Paul stood there stern-looking and didn't even say anything, so to me it all just looked contrived and fake." At 58, he still shares training videos that showcase the remarkable strength he wielded at his prime. Even as he strives to prove that his abilities have not diminished, he faces considerable resistance to his comeback fight, the first since his retirement in 2005. Froch said, "I just think it is a shame that Tyson is getting in the ring with this idiot fake Paul. It is just a clown world. It shouldn't be happening. I don't like it, but I hope Tyson can go in there and not get hurt and make a few quid." Jake Paul's foray into professional boxing has often felt like a grand illusion, orchestrated by a chorus of sycophants who echo his ambitions and stoked by a relentless hunger for fame. His journey mirrors the surreal spectacle now defining Mike Tyson's own reality. On November 15th, both fighters will step into the ring for a highly anticipated event, broadcast to millions, including those who vowed to look away. They will don their boxing gloves and perform the time-honored rituals of the sport, one weighed down by the ravages of age, the other by a glaring lack of skill, while collectively cashing in on their considerable earnings.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Mike, I don't know, Mike was a little bit weird. When he was pushing me, though, he was having the time of his life.
Yeah, so when Jake and Mike did their face-to-face at the end of the press conference, first thing Mike did was come up to Jake, started throwing punches, some pushes.
He's like giggling and smiling and shit.
Last press run for Mike when the fight was first on, you were tubby. Like, you were the tubbiest I've seen Jake. So I can't blame him for calling you tubby.
Peak male performance bod is fat.
The imminent showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has sparked a whirlwind of excitement in the combat sports arena. This highly anticipated, officially sanctioned boxing bout is set to defy conventional standards, featuring 2-minute rounds and oversized gloves that promise to shake up the norm. The fervent discussion about the upcoming event has only intensified the buzz, and with no pay-per-view charge to factor in, it's anticipated that the matchup will attract a colossal viewership. Back in 2020, when they headlined the same card against Nate Robinson and Roy Jones Jr., they reportedly amassed over 1.8 million pay-per-view buys. Paul said, "I think that was like the 8th biggest ever. I think everyone would be happy with like 25 million. That would break the streaming record of the AFC game, the one before the Super Bowl, which was streamed on Peacock and got like 22 million live viewers. So if we beat that, everyone is going to be happy." Despite facing numerous hurdles in the unyielding march of time, Tyson remains an indomitable force in the realm of sports legends. His mere words have the power to send chills through anyone who hears them. While Jake Paul dominated the press conference with his brash statements, Tyson's every word stirred a passionate reaction from the New York crowd. Amidst Paul's most intense outbursts, Tyson delivered one of the night's most thrilling retorts. In a dramatic declaration, Michael Bisping has fiercely criticized Jake Paul's upcoming bout with Mike Tyson, branding it as an absolute travesty. He denounces the fight as a joke, a farce, and a blatant insult to the integrity of boxing. Bisping takes a swipe at Paul, calling him a mere charlatan who's chosen the path of least resistance to achieve fame. The lingering question is whether, at 58, Tyson can still pull off an unforeseen victory or if this match is merely a lucrative ploy for the seasoned fighter. Bisping didn't mince words, sharply critiquing both the fight and Jake Paul's role in it. He began by acknowledging Tyson's historic prowess, but swiftly pointed out a stark truth: the man's almost 60. Bisping emphasized that the Tyson of today bears little resemblance to the formidable fighter who once instilled dread in his opponents. Instead, he argued, "Jake, I hate to point out the obvious, that makes you look pathetic." Transitioning to the press conference, Bisping found Jake Paul's behavior especially troubling. Paul's comment to the booing crowd, "You're just like Mike Tyson, you were good 20 years ago," didn't sit well with Bisping. He saw it as Paul inadvertently admitting that the fight is lopsided. Bisping criticized Paul, saying, "You just admitted that you're going up against an old man who is a legend, of course, but he's not that guy anymore." Bisping didn't stop there. He went on to call Paul a disgrace to the combat world, adding, "You are a joke, you are a wannabe, you're a fake." For Bisping, this bout represents little more than a handsome paycheck, a far cry from the genuine test of athleticism. During the charged press conference, Mike Tyson remained resolute, brushing off any doubts about his age or past glories. He confidently declared, "I'm doing this because I can. Who else can do it but me?" highlighting his unique position in the clash. Recently, Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the fight while chatting with Russell Crowe. Rogan expressed worries about Tyson's health and had a warning for Jake Paul about a crucial aspect of the match. Few boxers in history have matched Mike Tyson's sheer aura of intimidation. intimidation. At his zenith, the former heavyweight champion was a force of nature, a maelstrom of power and aggression that struck fear into anyone who faced him. Yet, as time has advanced, Tyson now contends with an adversary who is 3 decades his junior.
As a boxer,
Yeah.
terrifying. You know, even when I met him at one point back, you know, backstage at a stadium at a fight, and I was like, I'm still terrified of you from watching you, you know. But then that guy he started becoming, where he became more explorative and he was looking into what, you know, the meaning of life and, you know, having a smoke every now and then and stuff like that, you know. I was like, I'm enjoying this, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I'm liking the evolution. You know, what bothers me with this whole thing is that he's got a kind of...
Despite his intense training and meticulous preparation, there's a growing sentiment that Tyson might struggle against his younger opponent, who previously enthralled audiences as a social media sensation. Crowe expressed hope for both fighters, focusing on their safety and wishing they would avoid injury. He hoped the fight would rise above the spectacle that has surrounded it, acknowledging it as a legitimate contest and wishing for both competitors to showcase their best without any harm befalling.
I'm just not sure he needed to do it, you know.
Yeah. He's the reason why this table's so wide.
Why is that?
Because I was going to make the table more narrow and be closer to the guests. I had him on once.
Rogan, ever the candid commentator, didn't hold back in expressing his opinions on the topic. Although he conceded that the concept was intriguing, he was swift to manage expectations, implying it was improbable to materialize. The 57-year-old broadcaster underscored that when the two fighters finally clash, they'll be giving it their all in the ring. Tyson's fierce determination was palpable, leading Rogan to warn Paul that the match could tip in any direction. Jake Paul might discover that at 58, Mike Tyson still packs a formidable punch, or he could come to understand that regardless of appearances, 58-year-olds are still bound by their age.
Coming where he became more explorative and he was looking into what, you know, the meaning of life and, you know, having a smoke every now and then and stuff like that, you know. I was like, I'm enjoying this, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I'm liking the evolution.
Rogan repeatedly expressed skepticism about Tyson agreeing to the fight, citing the considerable age gap between the opponents as a major issue. During a conversation with Crowe, he explored additional factors that might further complicate Tyson's bout with Paul. Freshly declared recovered from his recent illness, Tyson took the stage post-press conference, his eyes locked with his rivals in a tense standoff. The former undisputed heavyweight champion asserted his authority with a powerful shove that sent Paul staggering back. Yet, the younger YouTube star, 30 years Tyson's junior, responded swiftly, showing no sign of retreat.
Is he really a young killer?
Yeah, you had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
I feel a lot better now.
Jake Paul has vowed an explosive and ferocious end to their confrontation, branding it as an epic showdown for the ages. He challenged his skeptics, daring them to envision the moment when Mike Tyson, not himself, hits the mat. Despite Tyson's chilling threats of a final reckoning, Paul stressed that their former camaraderie has morphed into a bitter feud. Discarding any pretense of mutual respect, Paul promised to land a decisive blow, setting the stage for a dramatic duel where only one will emerge victorious.
They'll never give me credit. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. If I was walking on water, they would say it's because I couldn't swim. And this is to make history. You know, people think I'm going to get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy. All the people in my comments saying, look at his power, he's going to get KO'd. People are yelling at me in the event. But what happens when I put this man to sleep? This shit is not a joke. He's saying that it's going to be my funeral. He's saying it's going to be my wake. He's going to kill Jake Paul, all of these things. And that's why I love Mike. I respect him, but we're not friends anymore. Until November 15th, I'm knocking this motherfucker out, and we're going to see who's dead. We will see who's dead.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.